C, D, E, F, G. That guy, he was awesome.
It's like Shyamalan. Shyamalan
It's exactly like
thing.
Shyamalan.
It's like for some reason after the guy made
The Village. He was going crazy when he was making The Village, and then he totally went crazy.
It's like for some he was. It's like something happened during when he was making Signs, and the guy's mind just snapped.
Yeah.
And then so he was making The Village, and it was slowly starting to happen. That, and then after The Village.
It's crazy. It's so many good movies beforehand.
Yeah.
It was or at least 2 or 3.
Yeah.
We agree his movies before them were good.
Yeah. But here's the thing. When you release a movie, Avatar: The Last Airbender, and it comes out in the same week as Twilight, and Twilight is not the worst movie to be released that week, and it's your movie is considered worse than Twilight, stop making movies.
Well, actually, interestingly, and I said this a long time about Sucker Punch until a friend recently persuaded me to go look at it again, and it's actually not as bad as I thought it was. Sucker Punch came out in the same week as Diary of a Wimpy Kid 2, and was swiftly overtaken by it. it's so depressing. How do you manage that? Yeah, Avatar: The Last Air. Yeah, what happened to that dude, man? Shyamalan, and he's got another movie, After Earth, which we're going to see.
It's not. Apparently, a lot of people are saying it's his best movie since Signs, which isn't saying a lot. But at the same time, I honestly think it doesn't look bad. I've heard people be like, it's not bad, it's not great.
Right. We'll go see it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna go see it.
Because I mean, we got
not Katie though. She smells.
You can come if you want to.
It's such a heartbreaking noise.
I don't know what.
I'll buy you popcorn.
Also, I think The Happening was his worst movie.
Okay, yeah, I can see that.
It's so bad.
We'll do a Shyamalan day, show one day.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah,
why not?
But, any other thoughts on Lord of the Rings? Just to get back on topic.
Oh, I was just gonna add to the Gollum thing that with the debate whether he's actually acting or not. If you look at Andy Serkis's face, and it's just a great special feature where it's side by side comparison of the scene where Gollum's I don't know if it's the one where it's one of his kind of talking to both sides of himself, either in the water or I think it's both actually, the water and the tree. And you see Andy next to it, wearing his little suit. But the facial expressions are exactly the same because they did model every close like that on his face. And Smeagol itself does look like, I think they said it's Andy kind of morphed with his baby. It's
yeah.
It is definitely it looks like him in a really creepy sort of way. So I definitely think of it. It's his character. It's his.
Yeah. Oh, his mannerisms come through so much in that.
In that case, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
This kind of relates, but just speaking of like Lord of the Rings always had, to me, besides everything else that was amazing, it had amazing costumes. The makeup and costumes, like the hobbits' feet, the elves, especially the orcs, they were amazing costumes. And somebody said, what was the company that had that we don't like fat people? They were
oh, that was Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah. So somebody said I like how the head of Abercrombie and Finch says we don't, or what, I don't know. I have trouble with names.
Proceed.
Yeah, he said I don't like we don't want fat people or ugly people shopping at our store. And somebody's like, well, I like how he's saying that when he looks like the orc from Lord of the Rings, like the general from Lord of the Rings Return of the King, the big disfigured guy.
He has a name, I can't remember now.
Yeah, but he's like, the age of man is over. Yeah. The time of the orcs has become. He looks like that orc, and I'll post a picture on our Facebook page of the two side by side. But I just thought it was really, really funny. And I'm like, and then I was like, so I saw that picture, laughed a lot, because the guy who he's just not a nice dude. But then I saw that, it was like, I kind of looked at a detailed picture of that orc. I'm like, that's amazing makeup.
Yeah.
Absolutely astounding makeup and costume design. I love it. And I love how the Rohirrim, their entire culture is based off of
was it Norse?
Norse, Saxon, that kind of the houses and the costumes and the shields and the weapons are all based off kind of that kind of Viking-esque appearance. I don't know. I really thought it was well done.
Yeah, absolutely. No,
I do really enjoy a lot the contrast in the films between Rohan and Gondor.
Yeah,
I think it's very good, and we're it's so exciting when they do Gondor calls for aid and we will answer, because you really don't think he will, because God can help him out.
It really is. I'm trying to think of a bad performance in Lord of the Rings, and nothing is really coming to mind.
No, even
which is a shame.
Grima Wormtongue, who could have easily been sort of overacted, I think was amazing. And actually, the reason that I bought the Blu-ray was that I was watching it with my friend, and she had the Blu-ray, and I had always had like just the normal DVD release, and I was like, oh, I don't need to get the Blu-ray, it's the same movie. But the scene, that might be a deleted thing, but they're at the top of the tower of Orthanc, and Theoden's telling Grima that he can, he'll forgive him, like, come down, like, it wasn't really your fault, you were sort of being manipulated by Saruman, and he actually cries, and you can't really see that in the DVD, but I'm like, oh yeah, like, that's sort of, he's a good character, like, and he's one of the ones that would be easy to sort of make a caricature of himself, I suppose.
Yeah. And usually in movies with that big a cast, honestly, in almost all of them, I can look at a performance and say, yeah, that was a little subpar, that could have used some work. It's sort of disturbing how impressed I am with the acting in this movie.
And it's not like, because in a lot of movies I find that you'll get like 2 or 3 actors that do an exceptional job, and everyone else is like, yeah, they're alright. But I thought that everyone and by almost I mean every single main character, the hobbits and the wizards and all the main characters were good, and even like the stunt guys and all like the kind of background characters, they were good too. Like I don't think anyone turned in a bad performance in this movie, or even a mediocre performance. I think everyone was solid or better. You know?
I think it's impressive that like when they are split up in the 2 towers, like I used to, when I was like much younger, I used to always skip the Frodo and Sam scenes just because I thought they were boring, they were very funny. But now like you look at them, they both versions of like you split to the Gimli, Aragorn, Legolas, and Frodo, Sam, and Smeagol, and they're both equally engaging, but in very different ways. And like I don't know, the Hobbits have such like a slow story, but now that I'm older, I really appreciate it because it's just like Frodo is like you look at Lord of the Rings, you might think it's like about battles, and you think of like Aragorn kind of iconically or whatever, but it is Frodo. And we were watching something about the end where they were going to have Aragorn battle like a kind of a Sauron taking human form, but they decided to cut it because it should be about them distracting the eye for Frodo, because it is about Frodo.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it was well done. And it's sort of like, the human form thing is sort of like a little too obvious, I think.
Yeah, the big troll that he fights in the Battle at the Gate is what they changed it to.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. We're coming up on the end of the show now, about 2 or 3 minutes left. Just quick, I want to ask you both a question. Favorite movie of the series of 3?
2 Towers.
I'm probably going to go with either... I like them all equally, but for different reasons, so I can't really differentiate between the two.
But I consider them one movie as well.
But I like each of them better for different reasons. I guess... I don't know, Return of the King for the battles, or Fellowship just for the fantasy vibe I'm getting from it.
Fellowship is my favorite.
Okay. So I'll go with Return of the King.
Yeah, Return of the King. So we each like a different one the best. That's kind of interesting. I kind of like that.
Do you want to do our Facebook thingies now?
Oh, yeah, you start with Facebook and Twitter and all that.
All right, so thank you for listening to the show. You can follow us on... we want to thank Katie for being here. She's been a great guest star. But please follow us on Facebook. We're at www.facebook.com/The Aperture Show. Uppercase T, uppercase A, lowercase s, all and no spaces. And you can also follow us on Twitter at www.twitter.com/The Aperture Show, all lowercase, no spaces.
And our email address is theaperture@gmail.com, but there's a 3 instead of the first E in Aperture. There you go, Sandy. Now you know which E it is. And
I don't know what the problem is. It was linked to I linked it in our Facebook page.
Well, fair enough. And you can also watch us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Aperture Show. I don't think there are any capitals in that. Just type out The Aperture Show into YouTube. You'll get a Machinima series first. Watch that too, because that's probably kind of cool.
It's actually really cool.
But then scroll down and listen to us after you're done that. Open in a new tab or something.
Yeah. Next week is going to be a really big show.
Oh, E3. We're hoping to do a 2-hour one.
Yeah,
I just committed to that without asking Bob first. I'm going to go ask Bob now in a minute.
It'll either be a regular hour-long show, or it might be a 2-hour-long special, just because there's going to be so much stuff with E3.
Yeah, it depends on what we're allowed to do, basically.
But we're going to try and do all that we can. So, and we'll talk to you about all of our what we thought of the show and everything that was presented, and what we thought was cool and what wasn't, and what failed and what was succeeded. So, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. A great show, guys. Thanks for coming in, Katie. And stay tuned. Oh, wait, nothing comes on right after us.
Listen to some nice music.
Yeah, listen to some nice music. Exactly. Yeah, so we'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Or you'll hear us speak.
This is 93.5 CHMR FM.